Hey everyone, welcome back to the Wimpy Studio. Today I'm here with the second episode of the Wimpy Studio News and Reviews. Topics today I'm going to be covering are the premiere of When Hope Calls Season 2, reviewing the Minecraft movie, the second episode of Righteous Gemstones, and talking about who will win Wrestlemania. Now, I don't have really a political segment here, and that's mostly because there wasn't a whole lot in the news of politics this past week. There's some general smaller things, like there always is. I mean, especially with this, since the new president started and went into office, there's been definitely a lot happening each week, almost too much to keep track of. So I'm trying to pick out the big points to talk about, which I don't think there's really a whole lot. I mean, there was a helicopter crash, which obviously very sad. A few other minor things. But last week I forgot to talk about on April 1st, April Fool's Day, there was Susan Crawford elected to court in Wisconsin as a judge. And then that was also the day of Cory Booker and his speech. So it was a huge day for Democrats. And I do think they're starting to regain that momentum that they had kind of lost since the election. And I'm hopeful they can keep that up. Really hopeful for them. I'm a bit worried about them, but I'm starting to get less worried. If they could just keep this up, then I think 2026 they'll most likely do well in the midterms. I mean, anything can happen, obviously, but I mean, there's so much unpredictability. But as of right now, I just feel like that's the most obvious way for things to go. But let's just start off right off the top with my review of When Hope Calls Season 2. Oh boy, When Hope Calls, it's been so long. Like, Season 1, me and my mom watched when it came out, and we thought it was really good. And what we liked about it is that it came up with this new storyline with these two sisters running an orphanage, and then they tied in elements of When Calls the Heart into it, while also having very engaging storylines with our new characters, love stories. I always felt like this show to me felt way more time accurate, and it had way more simpler storylines than When Calls the Heart, which really went with the dramatics. When Hope Calls to me just felt very grounded, not a whole lot of drama. I mean, some drama, obviously, but not too much. So, this season 2 premiere, which I guess not really the premiere because there was that 2-episode Christmas special, but that was so many years ago. To me, this just really felt like a new season. They attach it onto like 3rd episode of season 2, but I just basically call it the premiere. There's only 6 episodes this season. But I think there'll be more if this does well. But it was really good. It definitely had a very simple vibe, but that's not a bad thing. We see that Lillian is preparing to leave for London to help Grace with her pregnancy, but then her someone from her past arrives in town. And I was wondering, what is this Cindy Busby character playing? Because I didn't expect it to be her aunt. I thought it was going to be someone just with some tension. Like I didn't realize Cindy Busby was 40. But regardless, though, I still do not think that she would be her aunt. But it's definitely, I mean, with the age gap between siblings, it's not completely unrealistic for that to happen. But I liked how Nora kind of came in and she wasn't pushed away. She was brought into the fold, introduced, getting her own love interest, which is the new Mountie. I'm looking forward to seeing where things unfold from there. I mentioned to my mom, I just feel like Cindy Busby just plays that lawyer role in so many different things. Like when she comes back at Heartland, she's a lawyer. She's a lawyer in this. She's been a lawyer in so many different Hallmark movies. She's just brings that lawyer energy. It's just a classic to her as an actress. She just plays that character very well. Obviously the romance between her and Michael is probably going to be pretty cute. They're really advertising them as the main relationship this season. You could just tell in this episode there's already sparks there. But we have, this new Mountie. Basically because Gabriel, he was in this episode only in a couple of scenes, but he got assigned to a new role somewhere else. So Michael's coming into town as his replacement. Now I'm wondering, because in this episode, Gabriel is away the whole time. We see a scene with him and Michael, and then we see a scene where he's writing Lillian a letter at the end. Now, are we going to see him before the season wraps up? I feel like we kind of have to. Like, I feel like Lillian's probably going to leave next episode, and then we'll see her back in the finale, I assume, with Gabriel in the finale too. That's the way I see how this is going to happen, because I don't see them having Lillian and Gabriel just flat out disappear from the show, because they're such integral parts of the show. Like, to me, if this episode didn't have Lillian in it, I don't think it would have felt like When Hope Calls. Like, at least you had to have one of the sisters there in the premiere. Like, you just had to. Otherwise, it just wasn't going to draw people in. So, and then, of course, Gabriel, too, being in there helped a lot. Starting the episode off with them was like, yeah, this is When Hope Calls. And I think it's going to make, with the upcoming episodes where we're just going to have new characters, getting used to them, it's going to make it better than just jumping right into episode 1, just completely new cast. So, and then there was some funny moments, like everyone making a big deal about the new Mountie. What's his name? Ronnie being intimidated by the new Mountie and like wanting to impress him. I thought that was funny. Maggie's parents trying to get her out of Brookfield because they see something going on with her and Sam, which is a new actor. And it's funny because that's who played Jesse or Ashley's brother in Heartland. But I don't think they ever interacted on screen, because Jesse was in it after, because he was around he was trying to break up Amy and Ty's wedding, that whole storyline. But he was in it after Ashley had already left. So they never actually interacted, but they played siblings on the same show. So I'm wondering if they're going to have scenes together. I think that would be kind of cool. But yeah, it was a solid premiere. I mean, not a whole lot happened. I'm looking forward to the storylines developing. I miss this show. Like, this show, I still like When Calls of the Heart more because I'm used to the characters and I love most of them. But this show it's more of a feel-good, in my opinion. Like, you get the simpler storylines, you get more of the lighthearted moments between the characters, less high-stakes soap opera drama. Like, there's no love triangle in this show. I don't think there's going to be a love triangle in this season. At least I highly doubt it. But yeah, it was a good premiere. I'm looking forward to the rest of this season. So moving on to the Minecraft movie. Oh my gosh. This looked terrible when the trailers came out, and it wasn't as bad as what I thought it would be, but it still wasn't great. On paper, it kind of reminded me maybe a little bit of Jumanji, that type of storyline with them just going off into an adventure. And I mean, the overall basis of like the storylines kind of coming together was fine. But I think where the movie lacked is just like, if you're going to do a Minecraft movie, why not try to make it animation or I don't know. It's just one of those things. I didn't really think it worked in live action. But then again, if I was doing this video back in like 2017 when I started my channel and I was like 10, I probably would have loved this movie, because it's targeted towards the younger audience and it's just not really the movie for me. And in a way, Snow White in a sense too. But Snow White, I don't know. I'm not even going to talk about Snow White. The Minecraft movie, though, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It still wasn't great. There were some parts of it I just think were very sloppy. I thought the chemistry between the two main guys, Jack Black and Jason Momoa, I thought the chemistry there was good, and I think they really carried the show in their own ways. And then of course the sister and the brother, and then the landlord or whatever, the realtor. I mean, she was kind of a random addition to the storyline. I mean, all of that was funny. What I did not like was the principal and the creeper's whole random storyline. That to me was just awful, and I literally like looked away because it was just so cringy, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm like, kids find that funny? Is that their way of trying to like get adults to like it? Because trust me, it was not a very good side plot. That was my least favorite part of the entire movie. I just thought it was so weird, and I'm like, that's gonna be the post-credit scene, and it was just so weird and random and disturbing to me, all that whole side plot. The main plot though was good. It was good. I think they could have leaned more into the world of Minecraft. I think they kind of went like, I think they could have like used that to create like more funny and interesting like scenes, and I just didn't really feel that. Honestly, I think they leaned more into like cringy humor rather than like literally taking advantage that you're in Minecraft world. Like, I don't know. And I think the evil pigs were just so laughable, and now that I think about it, they were as bad as I originally thought, but then again, it was just overkill. Like that lead pig in charge, not head bitch in charge, lead pig in charge, which is such a downgrade of a name, I'm telling you. But no, I didn't really care about the pigs, but they were kind of funny. They provided some comedic relief, just that female pig in charge just taking control and like just stabbing pigs and turning them into pork chops. I mean, that part of it's, I'm like, really, like, for kids, that's kind of odd, but then again, I thought it was just kind of funny. Just so I think with this movie, it's one of those you just have to suspend belief, like, and just enter yourself into that world of like complete, like, can't take anything seriously. And I think when you view it in that lens, it's a fun movie, but still, there's just so many parts to it. Like, oh, come on, like, they just gain a random superpower. I don't know. Jumanji was better. I still think, like, Jumanji was better. But this movie wasn't terrible. Again, I would probably give it like a B minus, B or something. I mean, the cast had a good chemistry overall, especially the two male leads had a good raptor that kept this movie going. And I think without that, it probably wouldn't have done as hot. I didn't really care for the realtor lady being involved in the storyline, and really the brother and sister just, I don't know. I'm like, why couldn't they like have just done something that related more just in the Minecraft world in general? Why did it have to be people entering into the Minecraft world? Like, you can do just a movie set in Minecraft and just like a war or something. They could have just done a war between like the evil pigs and just these like characters. Instead, they made it into this like alternate reality that they were in, and just weird, really weird stuff. But yeah, regardless, decent movie. Probably I would not see again, though. For kids, I would highly recommend going to see it. I mean, there was like 10 people in the theater, so I did not have to worry about kids throwing popcorn at me, and I was thankful for that. But I also just sat in the very back row just in case. I went to a 3:45 showing, so it wasn't really busy at all. Again, there was like 10 people in the theater. But yeah, basically, okay, so now that we're done with the Minecraft movie, let's move on to Righteous Gemstones. So I watched the second episode of Righteous Gemstones, and I liked the first episode. In fact, the first episode had a lot going on for double the time. Like, episode 1 was a whole hour long. Episode 2 was 30 minutes, basically, like right at 30 minutes, not including ads. But it was a good episode. We spent so much time focusing on this blackmailer's plot that I should have seen it coming, that the third person in the back of the car was Gideon. Like, I should have seen that coming, but for some reason I just didn't put the pieces together. And I was thinking, why are they spending so much time on the blackmailers? Why should we care about them? Because I didn't care about Scotty and Lucy. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, why? I mean, I don't know. I just assumed it was two men. I did not think it was a girl, and as the other person in the passenger seat. I did not think, I did not think it was the girl. It was a girl. But I mean, I think that it needed that cliffhanger at the end, because there was just some really weird stuff, like Judy and her boyfriend on the stairs, or fiance or whatever. Ew. Like, and then Eli, the dad, just squeezing the snake. I'm like, what? Like, there's some really weird scenes at the end, but there are also just some scenes I like too. Like, I'm liking Kelvin a lot as a character. He's like the most normal of the three of them as of right now, so I'm liking that. I'm liking how Jesse, even though I just cannot stand him, I like how he is just telling these men what to do, his like henchmen, and going in and destroying tire shops, and just them getting away with it was just, what the actual heck? Like, come on. Like, well, it's just so weird. Like, I don't know. That was like a funny sequence to me, though, where like they go in and they like try to get the tape, and then they can't, and then he tells them to get back in there, and then they just break everything apart, and then he brings the whole computer with him. He doesn't even try to look for like a jump drive with the footage or anything. He takes the whole computer with him. And I'm like, why? I don't know. Like, why? I mean, why focus so much on the security footage? I mean, you guys are going to be in the wrong. You literally ran over someone. Like, I don't know. I mean, I get they were trying to destroy the evidence or whatnot, but I'm like, you guys literally ran over someone, and you're just acting like you were the ones in the right. I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird. There were some parts of it, but I did like the scene where they they just sat in while the church service was going on, where they just sat in a room and talked about their plan, the three siblings and their henchmen. I thought that was hilarious for some random reason. But yeah, it was a good episode though. I'm liking this show. I don't like all the characters. Like, I don't really like Jessie and Judy so far. It's just weird to me, and her fiance. We haven't seen much of the dad yet, and I assume we will see more of it, but it's a very raunchy show, but kind of knew that going in. But I mean, it's pretty engaging. There's some funny moments, and I think it's kind of like the Minecraft movie in a weird way. You kind of just have to suspend belief and just watch it just for what it is, which is a really bad evangelist show. Raunchy, fake, I don't know. The cast is good though. They have good chemistry with each other, so that's definitely a plus. But we're gonna keep watching it. I think because Andor's coming out soon, we'll probably focus on that when it comes out. But we'll watch this probably a couple more episodes until then, and then we'll try to hopefully maybe try to get through it by the end of the summer, because that's what I'm gonna kind of be putting pause on my channel. Hopefully try to get through all of it by the end of summer is my goal. So that's that with Righteous Gemstones. So moving on to my final topic is who is going to win Wrestlemania. Now, I've not talked about WWE on my channel before, because that's just never really been the focus, but I've gotten more invested in this, and me and my dad actually went to the Royal Rumble in Indy, and I was shocked when Jey Uso won. Like, everyone was shocked in that room. Nobody saw that coming, except, maybe some of the Jey Uso fans, hopeful fans, but even them, I think they were still thinking Cena would win. That's the way they were setting up this whole thing, but it was a plot twist, and it was, like, for being my first event, it was it was a welcome plot twist, because it was like, if every show's like this, then I'm hooked. Like, if they just completely give you what you were not expecting. So so WrestleMania, who's gonna win each match? I literally just talked to my dad about this to kind of get a hint of where he's at. So we have four main men matches, I would say, and then the females, I just don't think they're as well written. I don't know. I mean, he thinks Charlotte Flair is gonna win. I think Tiffany might win. We'll see. Bianca Belair won the Elimination Chamber, so we assume she's not gonna win. We don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what is in store for the women's, but for the men's though, there's a better idea as to what exactly we're going to get to see. My dad thought that Cena versus Rhodes was a toss-up. I'm leaning more towards Cena, just so we can end off that storyline and so he can get his big win and then wrap up that chapter instead of continuing to drag it out for many events to come. And now I would like to probably see Rhodes win a bit more, because I like Rhodes more, but regardless, that I'm leaning more towards, I think Cena's going to win. We also have Jey Uso versus Gunther, and I think we both agree Jey Uso is going to win just by the way they set it up. I think it just makes total sense for him to win. If they're entering into this new era, new people in the WWE world, then it would just make sense for Jey Uso to win. Both Cena and Rhodes are big titles, so in that issue doesn't really concern them no matter who wins, but Jey Uso's still relatively not like a super big, I mean, he has his yeet, but he's just not like top dog status. But now I think we're gonna see that, and I think he's gonna beat Gunther in their match. Now Logan Paul versus AJ Styles, it's possible AJ Styles is going into retirement, so he could get his big win here and it's his final, maybe, I don't know. But it's also possible he could lose and just move on and be done. We'll see. I think it could go either way. I know people love to hate Logan Paul, so he definitely could win. I mean, if it's against AJ Styles, he definitely could win. It just depends on where the storyline goes. I would prefer Styles to win, but wouldn't be totally mad if Logan Paul won. We'll see. And then we have CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. And my dad actually wanted CM Punk to win the Royal Rumble. I went into it with an open mind, not really preferring one candidate over the other. And I kind of came out of it with thinking that CM Punk was who I was hoping for, because my dad was hoping for. So I think CM Punk will win, and I think he'll hopefully take out Reigns and Rollins. I mean, they kind of all three got out about the same time during the Rumble, like back to back to back. So I'm hoping. I mean, it's interesting they paired these three up for that match when they had that happen in the Royal Rumble. I'm hopeful that Punk's gonna get the win here and get a win. So I think I like the underdogs, so that's why I'm glad that Jey Uso won, because he was clearly the underdog in that match. And a lot of people were really upset about that. They say that was like the most disappointing Royal Rumble in history, and I'm like, I mean, obviously if your guy doesn't win, it's sad, but think of it from like a story perspective, entertainment, shock value. Like definitely that won in that regard. That, I mean, if Cena won, sure there will be excitement, but I don't think there will be the same level of just complete, utter shock in that room, because I was in that room and that was like a very powerful. That was one of my favorite things I've ever seen and be a part of in a room. Like just the complete craziness in shock of Uso winning. So yeah, that's basically it though for this video. Next week though, a new episode, When Hope Calls, I'll be reviewing Righteous Gemstones. I'll definitely review more, and then I'll probably do like an Andor season 2 preview. I think is my goal there. Talking about what I think is going to happen in season 2. I need to finish my season 1 rewatch before I do that, because I still forget some of the stuff that happened in season 1. And then the new Return to the Walter Boys comes out on Tuesday, and I don't know, it's a busy week, but I'm going to try to read that and get that out in the next episode. So expect those things for the next episode of the Wimpy Studio News and Reviews, which will come out next Sunday, Easter Sunday. Thanks everyone for listening. Comment down below your thoughts on what I reviewed, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye everyone.